Director Knight, how can I help you today?
I'm gonna move north as well, get a better angle, and prepare for Petrov's arrival.
Sorry,
Build
one
your
second.
walls.
Can you call me back in just 2 minutes?
No.
Octo, you want me in the ditch, yeah?
Hold on one second.
Say it, 10-9, sorry?
Hold on one
You
second.
want the northern unit?
On Route 68, you can
but-
like get on the hillside before you peek over into prison.
Get something.
Hold on one second, chat.
Just note the body is gone. I believe the DOC's EMS have picked him up.
Stay firm.
Um,
The
construction
ditch also works
sounds.
if you want to beat a ditch at first. I'll stay further north.
Yeah, we did have activity by the water towers. I'm gonna route more that way.
Oksana.
Sorry, we were in the middle of something. What's going on? Guys, move it over there, just a little bit to the left. All right, good shit. Get 2 shooters up on the roof right over there, just in case. Nancy, what's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of loud out here. Guys, let's turn off the equipment just real quick. Ambassador is
hear
calling.
me?
Yeah. All right, give me a sec. All right, what's going on, Nancy?
And I was going to do a refuel. I don't see any other movement outside this time.
Hello, Nancy?
Why are you still doing what you're doing?
Well, that's a lifer.
What do you mean?
Well, one, you're doing exactly as I asked. Where the walls are is exactly what we wanted in the first place.
That's not true. I literally send you a picture, and you said something about dirt pads, and I said, you know what? Maybe me and Nancy can just get in a car, and she can show me exactly, like we can say exactly right here, and then it turned into all this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can get in your car and then I can see the inside of MRPD for all I know.
Well, I mean, I don't think there has been a singular time I have said I'm going to do this and I don't do it, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe we'll behave like that now. There is no negotiating, is there?
There is negotiating, but you have to understand, Nancy, I have an oath to the state. Y'all are quite literal treasonists, actively seceding from the state, and the beginning of your negotiations are recognize us for A, the safety of other inmates, and B, for the construction of a wall, which I thought was reasonable for its location, an embassy, and a visiting area. I could have very much came in and said, we're just going to kill you all. But
you're doing anyway, because you're just the monster that you painted me out to be. That's what you're doing. You're sitting on a hilltop with a sniper, sniping anyone. In fact, those could be people that are just simple lifers that live their life here. There's no regard, none. There never was.
I made sure they were wearing red. Yeah. Have I shot someone?
Lifers.
Have I shot anyone that isn't marked with Cleveland colors? And I'd like to also underline, I came with a proposal. Y'all didn't even come with your damn constitution yet. I've been mostly coming up with all this by myself. I don't got 40 damn people sitting in Bolingbrook trying to like, you know, get a couple sentences on paper. You know what I mean? I came with a damn MS Paint doodle, and all I heard was no, 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 no. Like that's what I'm hearing, right? I'm very
and you know
open
why that
to.
is, Mr. Knight? Because
I'm
you have an infrastructure and a livelihood and something that you're used to working with. Us, we build from the ground up, and things take time. But everything you've done, even the 10 minutes of time we asked so we could make a decision as to what we did, you couldn't even honor that. Out goes a state announcement.
That was, well, that's not true. Are you talking about the Alfonso conversation?
Yeah, the conversation that you said you weren't going to nuke us.
That conversation, wait, hold on a second. Did Alfonso convince you that somehow I got approval by the state in 10 minutes? No, that's been in effect since Monday evening. We just got the documentation during that phone call. So I feel like he's got you wound up in a bunch of, like, just think about this rationally. Do you think the state wrote all that up in a span of 10 minutes?
You said you have everything prepared and you did it all yourself. So yeah, I do think that.
The MS Paint was created, I'd say, I mean, I can look at my desktop here. Actually, give me a second. Well, actually, I didn't save it. That was created, I think, like, prior to your phone call, maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, I had an idea what I was going to do, but I don't really see where that has anything to do with anything. I came to the table.
Exactly what you're saying.
I'm sorry?
It counters everything you're saying then, doesn't it? You're saying that you did have everything prepared. Now you're saying that you didn't and you did it on the fly.
I did not prepare the state announcement. That was based on that was conversations with the state on Monday. As for the MS Paint, that was created shortly before the phone call with you. So those are two very separate things. I came to I tried to start the negotiation, right?
Yeah, and you were unreasonable because you wouldn't meet me on neutral ground with your people behind you, my people behind me. Both of us stood there unarmed having a conversation. You couldn't honor it. You had to have me in a position where you could do what you like.
I think the way that you're framing it is very unreasonable. I don't think, well, firstly, for there to be neutral ground, there needs to be an agreement on neutral ground. There is no treaty. There is no peace agreement. That would be the equivalent to you setting the rules and then expecting the rules to be there. This is very much why I asked for a constitution to begin with. It's why I had the conversation today. I said, here is my proposal. You said you're going to go have a chat. You did, and you came back and said, you need to recognize us as our own state. I mean, that's the beginning of unreasonability. So let's start simple. We're going to put up a wall. There can be a visitor center for your safety and our own. There can be an embassy between y'all and our own, and that DMZ is a no man's ground, right? Now,
which needs to be the car park.
I think we agreed to that. But however, there is no means by which we'll be able to construct any kind of embassy or whatever in that DMZ simply because there is direct oversight of Bolingbrook into there. So anyone that goes into those facilities with how high those walls are in Bolingbrook, they are instantly under threat, right? Now, I know you've got your own carpenters. If they are willing to create a, like some form of like connector, right? So you can come in from that side and the connectors meet into the center. That's more than reasonable, right?
We have no intention of keeping people here if they don't want to be here, nor if they want to be a part of it.
I see none of that on paper.
You've got everything laid out. You have an infrastructure. We don't. Things for you don't take time. It can be done at the click of a finger. That's not the case for us.
Oh, Nancy. That's rather convenient because I sat across the table from Mr. Harry Brown who very clearly said, you know what I loved about New Babylon? We could do things so quick. We could have a court case the next day. Things don't work like that, Nancy. I hate to tell you this, but I have to suck dick. Me and the governor, we know each other really well, and I can tell you the taste of his semen. I don't think you understand what I have to do to get what we need. I'm lucky I even got these recent resolutions. I'm speaking metaphorically, by the way.
Are you?
Yes. I haven't actually seen him face to face. It's mostly, what is it called? Video conferences. In fact, most of the time he's sitting there playing Path of Exile while, the rest of the senators are, well, it's complicated.
Yeah, much like how we live is complicated. You're talking about video conferences, we're talking about building things with our hands. The two don't align.
We're building things with our hands right now.
I know you are. Delightfully where I wanted them.
Where I wanted them. But you know what? I'll let you take the credit. Thank you so much for allowing us to do what we wanted. Look, Nancy, I am always willing to pull back. However, there needs to be an understanding, I think, at the most core levels before we can make any reasonable decisions. I want to lay something out very clearly because I think there may be some things mistaken here. First and foremost, y'all are seceding. As with any other attempts of secession in the history of man, that is only met with violence. We have not bombed you yet. In fact, any of the shooting that has taken place today is in order to secure some level of borders by our side. I didn't start shooting. That tower did. The moment we were shot at, in and of itself, sends a message.
So when you called me and you said to me on the phone, after someone got sniped off of a rooftop, and you said, did you get the message? That wasn't you. No. That was
you're
just
right.
someone
I did shoot first. My apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. Well, I did forget about that. We have been shooting for some time.
Yeah, it's convenient, isn't it? You do tend to forget information that is relevant to what we're talking about.
I'm willing to admit it, though. There's a difference.
What would you like me to admit?
That your negotiations from the very beginning were unreasonable. The expectation for your first line of negotiations, accept us as a separate state. Do you think that to be reasonable as a starting ground from a seceding set of treasonists? You have no rights right now. I hope you recognize this.
I do recognize that, but I think everything was built from nothing. The life you live, Mr. Knight, is fake. Everything is made up. Currency is fake. Everything is made up. And someone with confidence said that that was how we were to do things. But yeah, I do think it's being reasonable.
So because you have taken over the prison, you believe that's enough negotiating chip to say, we're a state now?
Would a state not need land? Would a state not need a population?
But because based on your own metric, that would say any neighborhood could simply become the state. Doesn't work that way.
It doesn't, yet when we were in Babylon, you tried to push the exact same charge on us, even though we had none of those things.
You're saying that after 6 months of me doing nothing but defending y'all, and then watching y'all cowardice go after anyone except those that started the conflicts. I didn't see a single name on that bounty board over the ones that coordinated February 18th. Nobody behind that coordinated the airplane attack. There's always some kind of convenient reason, but none of it really passes the test of logic. Now, I'm sure you're unaware of this, but even after February 18th, and I don't know why we're going back to February 18th when most have already seemingly forgotten about New Babylon. Let's talk about now. Right now, you are in control of my facility. You're in control of a facility I have oversight on. If we so chose, we could drop a bomb. That is not occurring. I am meeting you.
So why aren't you?
Because unlike those that decide to plant bombs on government facilities in order to get their way, I am not the monster you would like to paint me as.
And I suppose we're in the same boat there, aren't we? But unfortunately, your axe with a sniper rifle prove that perhaps you are more of the monster than you think you are.
I think shooting down a treasonist is not only honorable, but the exact same things that you yourself have done plenty of times. Maybe not you directly, but others. Now, are you... I mean, just think about this for a second. Are you telling me that you do not believe the state has any right to shoot armed treasonists that have taken over a state facility? Let's start there.
But you don't know who you're shooting. You don't know what's going on within these walls.
Do you think I do not... I don't check before I pull the trigger? Let me ask you, did I shoot anyone that is not a part of Cleveland?
Who did you shoot first? Today.
Today?
Mm-hmm.
Name's irrelevant.
No, it's not.
It is.
Because if you check who you're sniping first, then the name is very relevant.
Not when they've got your colors.
So
I noticed
you drop.
I noticed you
drop,
didn't
I don't
answer
know,
the
but
question. Have I shot anyone that is not in Cleveland? Exactly.
Someone came out of their bunk today who was a lifer. I simply spoke to them about what we were doing. She was putting outfits together, clothing together. Hadn't even made her decision yet.
I'm
but
on
you
and
made that
off radio.
decision for
Feel free
her.
to 911 if y'all need me. How's it looking so far? I'm with on the phone with Nancy.
Most of the prisoners Air 1 saw are currently like in Gen Pop, just kind of hanging out near the calf.
Hey, firm. Do you see any of them wearing red?
It's an Air 1
They were all wearing red.
A firm. Okay.
6 individuals.
Very good. Okay.
And we are very secure. Our only real threat is the exterior, which is highly unlikely.
Understood.
And fatigue. Should we break off a few units?
I think let's do what we can as safely as we can and continue the efforts. Is infiltration team ready? All right, good. Sorry, you're saying?
Someone woke up today, they were a lifer. We gave them the option. We said, this is what is happening here. We'd obviously like to get you to a place that you would be happy with. So you let us know what you want to do. They were trying on outfits to see if the boot fit. So how do you know? How do you know that someone hasn't held them up and said, you're here, so you have to help us? How do you know that?
Can I ask a simpler question before we get into these hypotheticals?
Yeah.
What leg do you have to stand on for the things that you have done and been a part of? Because from where I'm standing, I feel like this is a lot of, philosophical high roading by someone that was intricately involved in blowing up government buildings, taking lives, etc., etc. So, if I sound like a dick, it's kind of because it's like I'm speaking to the ambassador for Osama bin Laden and them asking, man, why did you shoot some of my men in this building? And I'm just, kind of confused a bit. Like, do you not recall the things that you've done? Yeah, there are decisions. When I swore an oath to the state, and as I operate on a daily basis, every time I fire my gun comes with a lot of thought that comes beforehand. It is not a simple equation of, is someone trying to contest my bank truck, or did someone scratch my ego? This is a response to the legal matters in front of us. And as, by not just the founding fathers of the United States, but the founding fathers of this state of San Andreas, people have the right to dignity. People have the right to health. However, one cannot take that right from another. The mere action of secession is spitting on not just the Constitution and the very rights that you're fighting for right now, but it becomes incumbent on me to make the hard decisions, to pull the trigger against those that are attempting to take away the very rule set that we are governed by. So when you ask me, why am I choosing to pull the trigger on someone that wears the red coat? The answer is simple. Every shot I take is the protection of the whole. Now, I'm sure you have certain feelings and whatnot about those of you in the walls of Bolingbrook, or Cleveland as you call it. I'm doing what I need to do to protect those on the outside and those that are eventually going to be inside. It's the very reason that despite the fact that the state has given me the authority to start sending people up, I am not satisfied until there is a safe location for them in there. And that is why I wanted to enter into negotiations.
And I can respect that final point. I really can. But in saying that everybody that is wearing red, much like you did with Babylon, those people might just happen to be there, and you're profiling them like that. And then, to put us all in that same boat, press charges on everyone. You're saying everyone is part of this nation, and you have no idea that people are part of this nation. You're making assumptions there. It's discrimination as a whole. It is.
You don't have the right by seceding and spitting on every single law made by the Democratic Republic of San Andreas, you have given up all your rights. You recognize that, right?
I do.
I mean,
I do.
Do you have any rules?
Yeah, we have a whole constitution, and we'll have a legislation as well.
Well, then I think you've answered your question. Just as my officers, make it rather clear who they are by wearing their badge and their vests that are clearly marked, those that wear the arms of the enemy, they're lucky they don't have their citizenship stripped. I'm at least willing to recognize you to the extent that we're having this call.
And we were going to negotiations, yet less than 2.5 hours later, we have walls going up regardless. There is no negotiation, is there, Mr. Knight? And there never will be.
Let me remind you, and as I take a look at my phone, our initial phone call was roughly almost 4 hours ago. And the moment I arrived by myself, I witnessed a series of individuals, likely so used to living outside this sense of law, they saw no problem walking out with weapons and expecting the entire police force to stop what they are doing to cover me for a little conversation between us two. I did ask for things to be limited. And then I waited. And I waited and I waited, and at a certain point, the waiting became too much. And I still haven't gotten your MS Paint picture. You had 3 hours to make one.
That's because I came to the conclusion that there was no negotiating, because despite the fact that you want to behave as though nothing was going to be around that corner, and I was going to come out to talk to you and only you, Lord knows the moment you saw guns, there was multiple other units in the vicinity, which is exactly what I assumed you would do.
Well, I can tell you right now that the moment I saw the gunman come out is when I put out the response. It was only myself there originally. But maybe I was wrong to put too much trust into the ambassador. That's not to say that things cannot be resolved, but if you and I are to talk, it must be you and I. And if it is you, I, and one other, then it is me and one another. But when you bring your army, that's a very, very different kind of conversation.
But it was going to be you and I in your car, where you have complete control as to where you take me. You could take me to some underground dungeon where I see 4 walls for the rest of my life. You would have had that power in that moment to do that. And you know that.
I know. I have a lot of power right now. And I chose, and I'm continuing to choose to hold it back so that there can be some level of dialogue. So we can go back and think about all the ways that decisions could have been different, or we come back to the table.
And the table will be in the parking lot where our embassies will be. And that's where we can come back to the table, because I can't control what you do tonight. You've already begun.
We'll have something attached to the walls. Like I said, you're asking me to endanger all of law enforcement when they can very easily be gunned down from your walls. When we go ahead and place down the little embassy or whatever you want to call it, you can certainly choose to work with us to extend it into a safer position in the center. But once again, having people walk on either side creates a security risk. We do not have the luxury to bring our entire squad down every time someone has to have a chat. We have an entire city to police. And I think that is kind of
within that zone. Why would we require that? Because through your customs, you leave everything on your side. Through our customs, we leave everything on our side.
Once again, I think neither side trusts each other enough that there needs to be a mitigating risk. Now, if you can come up with a better solution that removes the risk for both sides, I am open to that. But not once, Nancy, have I heard you really consider the problem we face. What I am hearing, it will be this way, just as you claim that I am claiming it's one way or the other. I'm simply saying that right now there are 2 problems. One is a embassy in the parking lot puts all of my law enforcement at risk. It risks the situation in New Babylon taking up all of our resources. And as such, it is not something I can move from. However, if you can come to a solution, or regardless of what we might do or you may do, there's a level of security for both sides. With the way the building is constructed, I am more than willing to accept such a proposal.
There is a way we can have neutral ground. I just don't know what that is yet.
Well,
and I need to ponder it.
And I understand, but I need to start moving forward as well.
I know that because you've gone ahead and done it.
I have. But let's not pretend I didn't wait.
You waited a couple of hours. I'll give you that grace, but it wasn't a long time.
The city on the outside moves significantly faster than the laws and the legislation. The state has come down with a mandate. We cannot house these individuals for long, so the longer, understand the clock is ticking. Now, I will give you something you can certainly work on. Sometime tomorrow, we're going to begin constructing New Boston within the walls of Bolingbrook. If you wish to partake in where and how it is constructed, We can have that discussion. However, if there is no reasonability, well, we can discuss it in New York, the new embassy that's going to be erected tonight. And if we still can't come to some levels of understanding, we'll have to keep on doing what we need to do.
Of which we both know we can't live like that forever, so there has to be a moment where we find peace. We will come back tomorrow with our constitution. We will come back with options as to where we think that those people you send here should reside, should they not wish to be a part of anything that we are doing. I can't stop what you're doing with the wolves.
I know. I'll talk to you soon, Nancy. See you in New York.
Bye, Mr. Knight.
All right.
We need to check if there's civilians in the front as well.